What is meant by project? And what are the outcome of the project with suitable example?
Project. A project is a temporary and unique endeavor with a specific goal or objective, undertaken to create a distinct product, service, or result. Projects are characterized by their defined scope, timeline, and resources, and they are managed in a systematic way to achieve the desired outcomes. Projects have a beginning and an end, and they often involve multiple tasks and activities that need to be coordinated and managed to achieve the project's objectives. Outcome of a project with example. The outcome of a project is the result or deliverable that is produced upon completion of the project's tasks and activities. For example, if a software development company undertakes a project to create a new mobile application, the outcome would be the fully developed and functional mobile app that users can download and use.
What are the resources required for completing a project?
Resources required for completing a project can include human resources, project team members, experts, stakeholders, physical resources, tools, equipment, facilities, financial resources, funding, budget, and time.
Difference between the projects and the operations.
Projects and operations differ in several key aspects. Temporary versus ongoing. Projects have a specific start and end date, while operations are ongoing, repetitive activities. Unique versus repetitive. Projects are unique endeavors aimed at achieving specific goals, while operations involve routine, repetitive tasks. Specific outcome versus ongoing output. Projects deliver a specific result, while operations produce ongoing products or services.
Define project by PMI and why the project is non-homogeneous.
Project by PMI, Project Management Institute. PMI defines a project as a temporary endeavor undertaken to create a unique product, service, or result. Why the project is non-homogeneous. Projects are considered non-homogeneous because each project is distinct, with its own set of objectives, scope, challenges, and requirements.
What is work breakdown structure? With example.
Work breakdown structure, WBS. A work breakdown structure, WBS, is a hierarchical decomposition of a project into smaller, manageable work elements. It helps in organizing and defining the scope of a project, breaking down complex tasks into smaller, more manageable components. Example of WBS. Let's take the example of building a house. The WBS might include levels like foundation, excavation, concrete pouring, structure, framing, roofing, interior, plumbing, electrical, painting.
What is difference between the product scope and the project scope of the work breakdown structure?
Product scope. This defines the features and functionalities of the final deliverable, the product or service that the project is creating. Project scope. This defines the work required to complete the project, including all the activities, tasks, and components needed to achieve the product scope.
List out the stages of the project life cycle.
Stages of the project life cycle: initiation, planning, execution, monitoring and controlling, closing.
Why? We use WBS in project management.
WBS helps in organizing project work, defining project scope, assigning responsibilities, estimating resources and costs, and creating a framework for scheduling and tracking project activities.
What are the difference between the WBS and a project plan?
WBS. Hierarchical breakdown of project deliverables into manageable components. Project plan. Comprehensive document outlining the project's objectives, scope, schedule, resources, budget, risks, and management approach.
What are the main reasons to create the project plan?
Creating a project plan helps in clearly defining project goals and objectives, allocating resources effectively, establishing a timeline and schedule, identifying and managing risks, providing a roadmap for execution and monitoring, communicating the project's details to stakeholders.
Define project planning and scheduling, PMI.
Project planning and scheduling, PMI. According to the Project Management Institute, PMI, project planning is the process of establishing the scope, defining the objectives, and outlining the actions necessary to achieve those objectives. Project scheduling, on the other hand, involves determining the start and finish dates for project activities and tasks, while considering the interdependencies between them.
List out the common methods are used to project planning and scheduling for the project management.
Common methods used for project planning and scheduling. Critical path method, CPM, a technique that identifies the longest path of dependent activities, helping to determine the minimum time required to complete the project. Program evaluation and review technique, PERT, a probabilistic technique that uses 3 time estimates, optimistic, pessimistic, and most likely, to estimate activity durations and project completion time. Gantt charts, visual representations of project tasks and their durations, displayed along a timeline. Network diagrams, graphical representations of project activities and their relationships using nodes and arrows. Agile methodology, an iterative and incremental approach that focuses on delivering small, functional increments of the project at a time.
What are the phases of the project management?
Phases of project management: initiation, planning, execution, monitoring and controlling, closing.
When should you use a Gantt chart?
A Gantt chart is most useful when you want to visualize project tasks, timelines, and dependencies. You need a clear view of task progress and completion. You want to communicate project schedules to stakeholders. You need to manage resources and allocate work effectively. You want to identify potential scheduling conflicts or delays.
What are the advantages of the Gantt chart?
Visual representation provides a clear visual overview of project tasks, timelines, and progress. Task dependencies clearly shows task dependencies and relationships. Resource management helps allocate and manage resources effectively. Communication facilitates communication with stakeholders and team members. Scheduling allows for easy tracking of task completion and project milestones.
What are the disadvantages of the Gantt chart?
Simplicity can oversimplify complex projects and interdependencies. Dynamic changes, not always easy to update when changes occur in the project. Resource constraints doesn't provide detailed information on resource availability and constraints. Lack of criticality doesn't inherently prioritize critical path tasks. Limited context might not capture all project aspects, such as risks or quality concerns.